Usually when I'm making parmies, the base is a bit of chicken that's been crumbed, topped with some Napoli sauce and mozzarella. But I want to make a beautiful vegetarian version. Instead of a meat, we're going to be using eggplant. This is so delicious. So the first thing we need to do is our gorgeous sauce. I like lots of garlic for this, and we're going to fry it in some good quality extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to be using a light olive oil, so we want 1 to 2 tablespoons into a pot, along with garlic. I've got 3 fat cloves of garlic, and we just want to soften it. So you don't want to put this on a really high heat. So we just mix that up. And once it starts to sizzle, we can add a good pinch of salt. That's also going to season our tomato. I'm using some crushed tomato. You'll need about a can. That can go in. And a splash of water. Now we just want to cook this down for about 15 to 20 minutes until it's thick and rich. In the meantime, let's get on to our parmies. So you need some really good quality, firm eggplant just like this. I like the medium-sized ones, so we'll take the top off. And we want to cut them into fat steaks. So for stability and safety when you're cutting, I like to just nick off a little bit. See how stable that is? That's just going to make it much easier to cut our steaks. So the first bit I don't want, because I don't want that end bit, just tidying it up, and then we're going to cut them into, I'd say 2 centimetre thick steaks. And then that last little bit, again, we're just going to cut that end bit off. Great, that is plenty. So just like you were crumbing a piece of chicken, we start off with a station. So good old plain flour along with 2 eggs, and I'm going to whisk that with a pinch of salt. Great. And then some panko crumbs in the last bowl. And just so everything glues together and we get that gorgeous golden colour, I like the addition of some Parmesan cheese. So you can be quite generous with it too. And give that a mix. Okay, before I start crumbing, I want to heat up my oil. Now, I'm using a really good quality extra virgin olive oil. This is a light extra virgin oil. There's this misconception that light olive oil is highly processed, but this one in particular is a cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. It just is made with a different variety of olives, so it's not as peppery. It's fantastic for barbecues, dressing still, and shallow frying just like this. Now you can see I'm using a substantial amount because I want a beautiful even colour on our eggplant. So we're just going to warm that up so it's roughly 180 degrees. So we just want it to be sizzling as we add our eggplant. We'll start over here with our flour. In it goes, and shake off the excess. Now the egg is like the glue, so we'll add the eggplant to that. Again, draining the excess off, and then into our Parmesan and breadcrumb crumb. If you really feel the urge for a really, really, really crispy eggplant, by all means, you can double dip this. So we go straight back into the egg, shake off the excess, and then into the crumb. Okay, we're going to carefully move this over to the oil. And whenever you're working with oil, just make sure you get close to it because you don't want any splashes. And these are going to cook for about 3 minutes on each side. If you're doing a really big batch of these, all you need to do is preheat your oven to 160. As soon as they come out of the oil, pop them on a tray and they'll stay nice and warm in the oven. Look how thick and rich this sauce. That's how I like it. So I've just turned the heat off and have a look at these shallow fried schnitzels. They look so good. I know that that's going to be almost like custard inside. I love eggplant when it's cooked correctly, just like this. So take them out of the oil and just drain them on some paper towel. And I'm just going to swap plates over because I want to present on this one. So usually there's 2 steps to this. You go back into the oven with the cheese, but I'm going to keep the cheese quite raw just to give this a nice fresh flavour. So I'm going to go with this gorgeous crumbed eggplant, pop that on the plate, grab a spoon, and we'll add a generous amount of our red sauce, just covering the top of it, but still exposing the crumb of that eggplant. Great. And then a few extra things. Buffalo mozzarella. You could also use burrata or bocconcini for this. Don't bother slicing this. Look at this gorgeous cheese. Just break it in half. Ooh, it is fantastic. Just into bite-sized pieces. And we'll just top that, nestle it in. A little parmesan, sprinkle that over the top. And in true Italian colours, a little pop of green with the basil. Not only because it looks good, but I just love the flavour combination with the eggplant. Small little leaves on the top, just one extra addition. Sprinkle of pine nuts for some extra crunch. Eggplant Parmigiana, given a bit of a modern twist. If you're vegetarian or if you're not, you're going to love this dish.